Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? I am not doing great. I have a cold.
He needs some milk.
But I'm going to do this video anyways. So, as you can see, I have these really crusty cup holders. I picked these up at the thrift store because they caught my eye, and I figured I could paint them. So I did the base coat. And I didn't really have an idea on what to do at first, so I had to come up with a color scheme. And at first I was thinking lemons, and lemons are yellow, and I was trying to think of a background color to go with yellow, and I thought pink, because I don't know why I think pink and yellow goes really good together. Strawberry lemonade, that's good. But then I got frustrated because I couldn't figure out what I was gonna do with the lemons, so I went and watched TV, and I actually watched SpongeBob. And while I was watching SpongeBob, I decided that instead of lemons, maybe I should paint SpongeBob. So that's what I'm doing, because SpongeBob is yellow, so it fit with the background. So I started with the sketch, and it wasn't too bad. I did have some trouble with the mouth, and it made me frustrated, so I stopped doing that, and I did the rest of the body. I actually did better on the arms than I thought I was going to do, and I ended up having to fix it later on. But I should have let the paint dry a little bit better, because as you can see in a second, yeah, right here, I accidentally dug into the paint a little bit with the pencil. But I kept going because it really wasn't that big of a deal. I knew I could cover it up with the paint because I was using acrylic. I accidentally used oil based paint at first, and it told me on the internet that it took 24 hours to dry, and I did not have 24 hours to let oil paint dry, so I washed it off and I started using acrylic. Here I just started going in with the first layer of paint, and maybe I should have done a white underneath first, because this took so many layers of paint, and I did actually skip this because it would have been over an hour of just me going over and over and over again with paint on this thing. So here I started with the eyeballs, and at this point it was looking very, very, very creepy. It just looked like something with like an all fleshy mouth with pure white eyeballs was just staring into my flesh. And I wanted to keep getting the paint on so that I didn't have to keep looking at this. Now, the camera angle does change here in a second because I had to turn my phone. Yeah, right here, because I couldn't see what I was painting. And you can also see here that I added a couple more layers. So I'm just gonna let you watch a little bit, and I'm gonna stop yapping. So I hope you enjoy this little montage slash time lapse of me painting. Okay. Okay, so at this part, I thought it would be a good idea to take the black and carve out the teeth a little bit, and I ended up getting too much black on the tooth, and the only thing that I could do was dab off the extra and just be good with it. So it kind of looks a little lopsided, and it's not very center, but it was literally the best thing that I could do. And at this point, I started adding a lot of the details after the mouth here. I had to go back over the white a couple more times, and I did end up getting some yellow into that white, and that was also really frustrating, but I kept going. So this is when SpongeBob really started to come to life. I got to paint his tongue finally, and I used the same color pink that is in the background, but I think I lightened it a little bit. When I started to add his pupils, he stopped looking so creepy, and I kind of made the paint on his eyeballs a little too thick, so I had to kind of chunk it out. And I accidentally went in with black first on the left eyeball, so I had to let it dry, and then I could cover it back up with blue later. So this project not only took me 4 hours, but I also had to keep going over and over and over and over and over on the same things. But it was fun because once I started adding the details and it started to actually look good, in my opinion, I found more joy in it. And the most difficult part was when I had to do his collar tie, but you'll see that in a second. His little pants magically just appeared just there. Um, all this line work that I was having to do was difficult because I didn't have a line brush. I just had some brushes with very small tips, so I didn't get the cleanest lines, but I had to just keep going because I didn't have any other choice. So yeah, I added his little butt chin and his cheeks, and then his little belt loops. And here since I didn't have the line brush, I made the black lines a little bit too thick, and I had to go over them. So I ended up just pushing the bristles down to make it as flat as possible, and I just kind of dabbed it in little triangles. Once that dried though, I was able to go over it with some white. And the eyelashes probably was the funniest part because instead of making them straight up like my reference picture, they kind of went off to the side a little bit, and I only noticed that until after I did the second pair of eyelashes. And I tried to fix it here, but it didn't really work, so I just kind of left it. I had to mix this weird green color for his crevices, his holes, but I think it was pretty accurate. I think I just used some green, a little bit of black, and some white. I didn't want to leave the background empty, so I took the end of a brush and I dipped it in some blue paint, and I just kind of dabbled it around. And to get rid of the little spikes, I just took a paintbrush and I flattened it down, and I think it worked pretty well. I think it made the composition of the whole piece just fit a little bit better. I did go in with some of the background color and shape up his arms a little bit, because like I said, I didn't have a line brush, so it got kind of messy, and then I thinned him out a little bit. So yeah, this was a fun piece to do. I'm glad that I did it, and I did SpongeBob and stuffed lemons. Let me know what I should do with the rest of the cup holders, because I have no idea what I should do. Actually, I think I may do similarly what I did on this one, where I had SpongeBob. I may do Squidward or Patrick or Gary from the show. I don't know yet. I don't know if I have enough of the cup holders to do all of the characters. It just depends. But I hope you have a fun, safe week. Please do not get a cold like I did. And let me know in the comments if you like my idea. I hope to see you again soon. And thank you so much for watching. God bless.